Okay, so Riders Republic. So first of all, no script for this one, we're just vibing. When I first saw Riders Republic, I was like, huh, that looks pretty fun. And having now just spent like 6 hours in the closed beta, I can confirm for you that it is in fact very, very fun. I had a really good time with this, and I'm keen to play more on release. Yeah, I feel like Ubisoft have been trying to make this whole extreme sports thing happen for a while now, and they've never really managed to crack it. Everyone just kind of ignores it, and it doesn't do particularly well. I feel like they might have cracked it this time around, because in the brief time that I spent with this, I've really became quite a convert, and I was like, yes, I can totally see myself playing a lot more of this. I can really see myself just sort of keeping this installed on my console or my PC, and when I've got a free 15 or 20 minutes, then, you know, I just boot this up, have a bash, and then hop off. Like, I've got a few games that are my go-to for that, and I could see this slotting into that really well. Yeah, super impressed by this. I just feel like it's just very unique. You know, there's nothing else like this out there. And that's not something you can say about many Ubisoft products, so props for that, I guess. Yeah, let's get into it. Let's do a montage, and we'll talk some more about Riders Republic. Okay, so Riders Republic, let's talk off the top the PC performance stuff. First of all, it has a very comprehensive options menu, which I really liked. I'm just doing a quick run through of some of the stuff here so you can see it for yourself. But yeah, Ubisoft's menus are actually pretty good these days. There's an FOV slider, which I maxed out. Not a great idea, because when I booted up the game and started playing for the first time, I was like, huh, okay, that's a bit too much FOV, let's wind that back. It actually runs beautifully at this point. It's coming out in October. Playing on PC, I played on a 3080, just ran flawlessly. In every moment, I had no issues, no frame drops, no crashes, nothing. So, props for that as well. Interestingly, this does have cross-play and cross-progression, which means that if I play it on PC, I can then also go over to my, PlayStation and pick up my same account and progress all there, which is great. Cross-play really matters for a game like this because it's all about a lot of people on the map at once. The real selling point for this is that it actually supports 64 simultaneous races on next gen and PC, and it supports, I think, around 20 players on current or last gen consoles, so, PS4, Xbox One. We'll talk a little bit more about the impact of that later, but it's very cool when it happens and when it works. So yeah, it kind of almost feels like Fall Guys, but, extreme sports, which I loved. But yeah, that sense of scale, that sense of lots of players being present, both in races and in the social spaces, is a really core part of what this game is. And so, the fact that next-gen tech enables that is great. Riders Republic begins here in character creation. Obviously, you can see I made a very serious character here because this is a very serious game. Customization is a big deal here. Obviously, after character creation, you arrive at the social hub, you'll unlock the store where you're able to access all of the different outfits. You can set a different outfit for each different race type that you're doing. As you can see, again, very serious game. I chose the Spyro the Dragon suit. I don't actually think it is Spyro, but it's a purple dragon dinosaur thing, so we're just going to call it Spyro. They are clearly not trying to focus on realistic performance gear. I mean, there is some realistic gear in there as well, but they're also okay with you having a bit of a laugh. There's also a giant giraffe suit and one of those Tyrannosaurus Rex suits in there as well. Customization is, I imagine, how this game is going to make its money in terms of microtransactions. You were able to unlock some stuff in this store for free, I think, but obviously I'm expecting most of the cool stuff in this store to be microtransaction based. I don't know how that's going to work in terms of, are you also going to be paying for additional maps and content in the future? I don't know, right? I'm assuming that the cosmetics will fund future free updates, but don't quote me on that. Who knows how it goes with these sort of games. But yes, I definitely expect the cool stuff in the cash shop to be microtransaction based. That is my assumption at this point. The overall tone of the game is one of the biggest things that I enjoyed about it. It does kind of bring a smile to your face because it is so bright and so over the top and so ridiculous, and the characters are actually pretty funny. You meet this old sort of like seasoned pro when you get there who's running the local burger joint. He's got some good bands, you can listen to him here.
But competing at the Invitational? It's a transformative experience, man.
Transformative?
Trust me, I know. I was there 10 years ago.
12.
Sucky!
Pretty much all the dialogue plays out something like this, and as I said, it brought a smile. It was well put together. It really fit for what they were trying to do. The social hub, Riders Ridge, is also nice. It's a place for everyone to congregate. There are different kiosks that you can visit to access different features, like queue up for PvP battles, or races I should call them, and trick battles, and there's the shop there and a few other bits and pieces. But it's just a cool place to hang out while you're waiting for the next big event to trigger, or to do some shopping, or to practice some tricks, or whatever, right? It's just a space. The social aspect of this game is actually pretty important though, and I feel like it really nails it. So if we pull back on the map here, you will see that there are all these little white icons moving about like little ants. These aren't players that are logged into the game now, but they are players that were logged into the game at some point, and this is where they went, this is what they did. The game sort of captures where people went, uploads that to the cloud, and then downloads that to the client while you're playing. So it looks like you are surrounded by hundreds of riders at any point in time. You're not, of course, they're just ghosts, and there's no collision with them either, so if you try and run into them, nothing happens. But it is just this really nice feeling of being surrounded by this living world of extreme sports junkies who are out there just doing their thing while you're doing your thing, and I love that. It was just really cool. The player ghosts also appear in races, but we'll come back to that as well. Open world exploration is definitely a thing you can do here. Again, looking at the map, it's absolutely gigantic, and it's full of different biomes, like rocky downhill races and snow-capped mountains and big sky for your rocket races and forested areas and heat. I, as I said, spent 6 hours, but I feel like I've only just seen a tiny fraction of the map because there's just so much of it. You do feel incentivized to just go exploring, and you can do that as well because this is the other cool thing, right? You're rolling around. At any point in time, you can press a button and change your method of transportation. So if you're on the road and you see some snow, you can ride your bike over to that snow and then press a button and immediately take your skis out, and that's it. If you want to ride your bike down a ski slope, then that's on you, man. You can do it. It's not going to work very well, but that's up to you. And later on, I haven't unlocked the air suit yet to be able to, like, when I'm in free roam, but that's something I'll also be able to do. Just, like, take off, like Buzz Lightyear, and just start exploring. So that's really fun. Eventually, though, you are going to want to do some organized races, so let's talk about some of those. So there are 5 different racing varieties in this game. There's bike racing and bike tricks, there's ski racing and ski tricks, and there's also the rocket suit or the wingsuit. But within each of those categories as well, there's subtle differences. So for example, with bikes, there's downhill racing events, which, you have a road bike and you're staying on the road and you are just going as fast as possible. There's BMX bikes for, off-road downhill racing. And then you also use those bikes in the trick competitions as well. And then there's other sort of silly stuff, like there's a bike that has like little rockets attached to the back of it, so you go really fast. I haven't unlocked that yet, but that's a thing. Similarly, same thing with skiing. There's skis and there's also snowboard. And for the flight suit, there is actually a wingsuit and also rockets, like I said. So you can do the whole Buzz Lightyear thing. So there's also like meme events as well. There was one event that I did where you had to deliver pizzas, and you just basically get dropped in this little cabin village thing, and you need to go from door to door delivering pizzas as fast as possible, like Spider-Man, except on a bike, right? So that was just one event. I'm sure there's plenty of others like that as well. When you are doing these events, you are up against either other players or you're up against the ghosts of other players and the times that they achieved earlier. And you can actually tune the difficulty at the start of a race, and that will put you up against better times, right? So if I put it on standard difficulty, the player ghosts that I'm racing, they did okay. They didn't achieve a super great time. But if I jack that up all the way, I'm going up against players who achieved really crazy fast times. Yep, so that's, I thought, quite clever. In terms of like the overall handling and how it feels to play this game, it feels great. It's very simple and very accessible. When you're seeing this downhill perspective where I'm in first person on the bike, this probably looks really terrifying. Because the first time I saw this, I was like, oh no man, that's not for me. I'm going to do the third person, right? But because the game is so easy to control, it actually isn't that bad. You know, I actually came to prefer the first-person perspective because it gives you this incredible sensation of speed that I loved. It really only comes together and works because the controls are very forgiving. You know, this is not a particularly twitchy or simulation-based racing game. It's very, very pick up and play. Same thing goes for the trick system. It's very simple. There's actually multiple control schemes that you can employ for both executing a trick and also for landing those tricks. So you can tune this really precisely so that you have a lot of control over what you're doing and you really own the outcome. But similarly, you can turn all that off and just press a few quick buttons and the game will execute a trick and then will automatically land for you so that you almost never crash, right? So you just pick your poison on that one and you make it as deep or as accessible as you'd like it to be. But yeah, overall though, I came to enjoy the experience of picking up the controller and playing, right? I came to enjoy the physics and the speed and the simplicity of the trick system, and I was sort of interested to learn more about that and start tweaking those control schemes to get more control over what I was doing. The real highlight of this game though are these mass events. So the way these works is that they sort of ping out, hey, there's an event coming up on the map, and then you have to get over to there. So you fast travel to a point near it, and then you run up to it, and then all these other people are congregating there. And as soon as the event fills up, it begins. And then take a look at this.
Get ready to go bananas!
So as you can see here, it's utter chaos, it's utter madness. It's very much like Fall Guys, except, on bikes. And as you progress through the different stages of this event, you'll actually change, what you're riding. So we start out on skis, and then all of a sudden it becomes, we're on a bike. And then later on, I'm in a wingsuit. Except I don't know how to control this thing. It's so hard, by the way. Controlling the rocket suit's really tough, and I really fucking suck at it, right? But the sheer chaos of these races was intoxicating. And it was like, yes, I need more of this. I want to keep doing these. They only spawn, I think, every 15 or so minutes on the map. And I think the game kind of knows that they are the best part, and so it kind of wants to keep you coming back for more, like it wants to keep you hungry. But you can also sort of just queue up for these back at the home base if you like, so you'd never miss them and all that sort of stuff. So that is super fun. That was a highlight. One other thing that I actually really appreciate about this was they have a community creations feature as well. The map is so huge that what you're able to do is create custom tracks by just, using the existing terrain and putting down map markers and creating these tracks and then sharing those, and then people can do them, they can vote on them, the best ones can get, surfaced to the top. That's going to result in a lot of creativity. The community, I think, is really going to love that, the people that get stuck into this. That's a great feature. So, look, I keep, for example, Dirt 5 installed on my PlayStation, and when I have a bit of time, I boot up Dirt 5 and I just fuck around for a while, And it's colorful and fun and dumb, and the radio announcers are ridiculous and over the top, and it's not a deep sim racer, it's just an accessible racing game that I enjoy, and I keep coming back to it. I continuously come back to that game long after the launch of it back in November or whatever. This feels like that for me as well. This feels like that kind of game. I would love to pick this up with a few other people and just mess about and, Friday night with your mates, having a beer, doing this shit. Yeah, that's fun. And like I said at the start, this is really unique. There is nothing else like this, at least not that I'm aware of. Maybe there's some secret pocket of the extreme sports video game universe that I'm not aware of, but I don't know anything else like this, and I like the fact that Ubisoft are doing this, because they get a lot of shit, deservedly, for trend chasing and being a bit repetitive. But this is unique, and I do respect that. So, Riders Republic, it's coming out on PS4, Xbox, next-gen consoles, and PC at some point in October. Check it out if you like. I think they're going to do more betas as well, so you might be able to get your hands on an open beta or something to test it if you like. But yeah, this is cool, this is fun, pleasant surprise, and if it holds up at launch, I'll probably end up recommending this one. Okay, thanks for watching, and see you next time. Bye-bye. Thanks for watching my video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down so I know to do better for next time. If you enjoyed yourself, consider subscribing, and if you really enjoyed yourself, maybe consider hitting that notification bell so you never miss a video. You can see my patrons here on the left. They're awesome. They're amazing. If you want to join them, check out my Patreon page. Thank you again. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.